Now for more on the K&N Horsepower Challenge, here's Jamie Howe.
8 of the best drivers in Pro Stock will be going for that $50,000 K&N Challenge payday today. But the driver with the bullseye on his back is last year's winner, Alan Johnson. Alan, you told me yesterday that K&N is the best thing to happen to Pro Stock. Why is this event so prestigious?
You know, K&N, when they come to Pro Stock, man, we needed a huge lift for this bonus program and this all-star program, and they brought it when they brought it. They brought all their quality products. They've developed hood scoops. They've done a lot of things for Pro Stock. Just a great organization to be teamed up with.
And Alan's first opponent today will be Dave Connolly in the first round of competition.
Thanks, Jamie. It truly is an Elite 8, Mike Dunn. How do you get to the K&N Horsepower Challenge?
Well, it's all about qualifying. The drivers accumulate points based on their qualifying position at each national event. The top 7 positions in qualifying points earn a spot in the K&N Challenge.
The 8th position belonged to the fan vote. $50K to the winner. Double up tomorrow. 25 grand more. 8 drivers. Here is who races who in round 1 of the K&N Horsepower Challenge. Camaros go head-to-head as Shane Gray takes on Jason Line. Erica Ender-Stevens or V. Gaines would be first-time winners. Both Jed Coughlin and Vincent Nobile have cashed a winner's check. And the #1 qualifier, Alan Johnson, races fan vote getter, the talented Dave Connolly. And we're ready to go with the first pair where Shane Gray also hopes to become a first-time winner. If we do have a first-time winner today, as you take a look at those matchups we were just talking about, it would be the 13th different driver to win the challenge. But for Shane Gray to do that, he's got to take out Jason Line, his 10th consecutive challenge start. But the one thing missing from his resume is this thing we'll continue to talk about, the K&N.
Well, as you're on board with Jason Line, right now, anybody that's in this field has a shot at winning today. Let's just take a look at qualifying from yesterday. 5 out of the top 7 of the K&N Challenge are in the points, are in the K&N Challenge. They were within 7 thousandths of each other. So right now, the competition is very, very close in Pro Stock, maybe even more so than normal.
And both of these drivers have a little Vegas karma. For Jason Line, he's the track record holder here. So that bodes well for him and his Ken Black team. And for Shane Gray, he won his only race in 2013 here in the fall, just a few months ago over V. Gaines.
With Greg Anderson out of the seat, Jason Line's been working harder than I've ever seen him. And he's a hard worker to begin with, running 3 cars, helping tuning all of them.
Greg Anderson's here this weekend. We hope to talk to him soon. Jason gets away first. But they're locked door handle to door handle. At the stripe, give it to Shane Gray.
Good job, buddy. You got it. Nice run.
Margin of victory, how about 6 ten-thousandths of a second?
Boy, and you saw it from that onboard. Jason got the advantage off, but you heard it spin the tires, made that move over towards the wall. Shane made up that difference right away, and then just carried it onto the finish line.
Thank gosh for electronics. Take a look at this. At 208 miles an hour, each one of them, you picked the winner there at speed. You see the margin of victory just a few inches for the driver of the Kimco car. And that is a great way to start as we turn our attention now to Erica Ender-Stevens, her 5th start. She's looking for a first-time win, as is V. Gain in his 4th challenge.
Talking to Erica's crew chief, Ricky Jones, yesterday, he said that they did go through that car last night. They wanted to make sure that it was in tip-top shape and ready for the race today. He said consistently all season we've had one of the quickest and one of the fastest cars in the Pro Stock field. They're going for the win for the K&N Challenge. Last year, Erica was runner-up in K&N. She was also runner-up for the event. He says this year she's in a different car, and they're going for much different results.
The key is going to be the launch. So far, lane choice has been taken in the left-hand lane. We saw Jason spin the tires pretty hard in that right-hand lane. V. Gaines has lane choice in this matchup.
Well, in V's prior 3 challenge starts, he's had a mistake on the tree every time. 2 fouls and 1 hole shot. He'd like to rectify that right now. Pretty even for a reaction time. And at the finish line, how about Erica Ender-Stevens? 6:64.2. Couple of 100ths of a second margin of victory for Erica.
Well, I don't think Erica got away perfect, but I think it was pretty good for that right-hand lane based on what we saw with Jason Line in front of her. V, though, he was a little bit off in that left-hand lane as far as the launch, and as a result, the crew watches. Hey, go, Erica, go, Erica.
Now their attention to the big screen where they can see the finish line. Now they know.
And it was close. How close was it, Dave?
Well, let's take a peek here. See the driver on the near side of the screen, the driver of the Elite Motorsports car, Erica Enders-Stevens. We'll call it a nose, plus a little more. Now we turn our attention to Vincent Nobile and Jed Coughlin. Boy, it seems like every time we come to a race, these guys are squaring off. That's Vincent in the new look Camaro, new look to him, driving for KB. Speaking of new looks, that Dodge Dart is raising some eyebrows.
Oh, it's a good-looking race car. The Avenger, I never thought the Avenger really looked like a race car. Good-looking street car, production car. But this Dodge Dart, it looks racy, and boy, it came right out of the box in Gainesville doing just that.
Yeah, and talking to Jeg about that new Dodge Dart, he said Gainesville 2 weeks ago was critical in determining the setup. And he said what they found out is that you can be really aggressive on the setup with this race car. And so far this weekend, it's paying off. He is #1 in qualifying in Pro Stock.
Well, you got to love Jed Coughlin, the fact that he's won Indy 3 times, the Challenge 3 times, and the championship 5 times. He's pulled the trifecta. But when you look at a kid like Vincent Nobile, you can see that same kind of career path as Jed Coughlin. Vincent's pretty darn good, too.
Well, yeah, don't forget 2 years ago when the K&N Challenge was in Norwalk, he won that and won the race.
That's
swept
right.
it for that weekend. So we know he's capable of doing that. And I got to go back to the fact, talking about how hard Jason Lyon's been working this season with Greg out. Jason was over there. In fact, Greg was over helping, too. They broke an engine in Vince's car in that first qualifying session and had to change engines and then come back and get into the field.
Well, when Vincent pulled that double up, it was 2012. He was a Challenge rookie. Alan Johnson doubled up last year. Shoot, even Jed Coughlin, who Vincent is racing, did it. He did that in 2000. Oh, 004 red for Vincent. From the 2012 and 2013, Jed Coughlin was voted in.
663.9, 208.50. Good start, boys.
He was voted in by the fans, but he earned his way into this one, and he's into round 2. Gary Gerald.
At the top end of the racetrack alongside Erica Enders-Stevens. So much money on the line in this opportunity. What does it do to from a nerve standpoint while you're waiting?
Well, I know that there's a lot on the line, and we seem to perform pretty decent last year, but the coolest thing is it's taken the pressure off my shoulders. My team owner, Richard Freeman, came over and gave me a hug beforehand. He's like, hey, let's just have fun. This is just an honor to be in this this challenge, and we're just going to do our best and let God do the rest. So that gives me a big peace of mind, but I'm happy to be racing. This Elite Motorsports Chevy Camaro is very fast. We're going to fine-tune it. We lost lane choice by a couple thousandths, but with this cloud cover today, it shouldn't be a big difference, and I'm just so happy to be here, Gary.
And she lost lane choice to that car that just pulled up off her shoulder here, driven by Jed Coughlin. They'll be going head-to-head in the second round.
And when you talk about lane choice, Dave, we see now the lane choice is going to the right-hand lane. So obviously they're pretty even. We've seen good runs out of both lanes. Shane so far the quickest with that 663.5. Jeg in the left-hand lane. Jeg went 663.9 in the right-hand lane.
Now here comes Dave Connolly, the fan vote getter, the challenge winner in 2005, who has a great head-to-head record racing Alan Johnson. Alan Johnson, who happens to be the defending event champion that took home all of that money a year ago. He's got a pair of challenge wins and would love to make it 3.
Yeah, but we interviewed Dave Connolly on our E3 show last night. He talked about the fact that it's been 2-0 the last 2 times they've come to the line favoring Alan Johnson, and Dave says he wants to change that around.
Now that's Alan Johnson's father, Roy, that builds all that Mopar horsepower that has won the championship the last 2 years. Dave Connolly, though, is very, very talented on the tree. He will take on Alan Johnson, who has now 15 national event wins over the age of 50. This is the kid and the veteran.
And I talked to Roy Johnson yesterday. He was actually telling me at Gainesville they got lucky. They had unlevel intake manifolds on Alan Johnson's car. He said they went through that, everything's fixed, and they're ready for the competition.
Tried to use him up there, but Connolly gets away with a couple hundredths in the bank.
Might be enough.
It is enough. Dave Connolly with a whole shot win. It's a 664.8, beats the quicker but losing 664.3. Alan Johnson will not defend last year's K&N Horsepower Challenge crown.
How about that? We talk about Connolly being very good on the tree. 0-10 reaction time, 100th of a second after the light turned green. Dave Connolly was gone.
You wonder why Johnny Gray was cheering so hard at the starting line? Guaranteed, Dave Connolly, Shane Gray, one of the Gray Motorsports cars will race for the 100K today.
Cool.
And there's that reaction I'm talking about. Johnny says, yeah, my kid's in there. Dave Connolly's in there. I've got myself a powerhouse Pro Stock team. So the semifinal matchups, as mentioned before, it will be the teammates Dave Connolly and Shane Gray. The lane choice going to Dave Connolly. On the other side of the ladder, Jeg Coughlin, the new look Dart, going up against Erica Enders-Stevens, trying to rebound from a runner-up 1 year ago. Well,